In The Night of the Seven Kingdoms, Episode 4, titled 7, there are a lot of layered details that are easy to miss on a first watch, because this episode isn't just about a trial, it's a complete deconstruction of knighthood, honor, and the internal rot inside the Targaryen family. So in today's video, I'm going to break down every important detail you may have missed. And without wasting any time, let's begin. Detail number 1. The color palette shift. For the last 3 episodes, we were in Ashford Meadow. There was bright sunlight, saturated colors, and a sense of celebration, almost like nothing could go wrong. But now, suddenly, we're in a dungeon, a place filled with blacks, greys, and muddy browns. And this shift is not accidental. The writers are telling us one thing very clearly. Dunk's summer is over. Now the real world begins, cold, oppressive, and unforgiving. Detail number 2. Dunk behind the bars. Dunk's face is framed through a small dungeon window. Visually, it makes him look like he's behind prison bars. And this is a perfect metaphor. Yes, Dunk is physically trapped behind stone walls. But more importantly, he's trapped inside the social laws of Westeros, because he isn't just a man who committed assault. He's a hedge knight who struck a prince. And in Westeros, that isn't just a crime. It's a violation of the entire social order. Detail number 3. The mouse moment. Dunk interacts with a mouse sitting on the window ledge. At first glance, it looks like a random detail, but it's actually crucial character development, because Dunk, at his core, is gentle. He's the kind of man who shows kindness even to the smallest creatures. We've already seen the way he talks to horses, and this moment calls back to that same nature. Even when facing death, he doesn't lose who he truly is. Detail number 4. Egg's costume change. After that, Egg enters the dungeon, and suddenly, his entire attitude changes. Sorry, not Egg. The prince. For the first time, he's in full Targaryen mode, and that costume change hits like a punch, because it visually represents the class divide that has now formed between Dunk and Egg. Before, Dunk was the hedge knight, and Egg was a flea bottom boy. But now, Egg is a prince again, and the gap between them feels wider than ever. Also notice something important. Unlike most Targaryens, Egg doesn't wear the 3-headed dragon sigil. His outfit is simple, because deep down, he doesn't like this identity, just like I mentioned in the previous episode. Detail number 5. Egg and the Aegon Easter eggs. There's a brilliant Easter egg hidden inside a simple conversation. When Dunk says, "I've never heard of a prince named Egg," Egg replies that it's short for Aegon, and then he mentions that 4 Aegons have already come before him. So, Aegon I was Aegon the Conqueror, who united Westeros with dragons. Aegon II was the son of Alicent and Viserys, the one we saw in House of the Dragon, and after them, more Aegons followed, until Aegon IV, the king whose actions helped spark the Blackfire Rebellion, and that's the Aegon right before Egg. Detail number 6. Why Egg hid his identity. When Dunk asks why Egg created all this drama, Egg explains that he was the squire of Daeron, and Daeron is a drunk. He didn't want to fight, so they hid, and because Egg's hair is platinum white, he shaved his head. And yes, Daeron is the same man who told Dunk in episode 1 that he saw him in a dream. Detail number 7. Dunk and Baelor, the heart of the episode. Now we reach the most important conversation of the entire episode. Dunk and Baelor. And this scene shapes not only the ending, but the entire future of the story. There are 2 key points here. First, Baelor doesn't treat Dunk like a criminal. He treats him like a political problem. He acknowledges that Dunk was morally right, because Dunk saved Tansel from Aerion's cruelty. But Baelor also explains the political reality. You can't assault the blood of the dragon and expect it to be ignored. Even if Aerion is insane, even if Aerion is a monster, because he's still family, and Baelor cannot openly move against him. Second, when Dunk says, "Don't all knights swear the same oath to protect the innocent?" That line becomes the central theme of the entire show. And it's the line Baelor clearly remembers, because it's what finally pushes him to join the trial. Detail number 8. The dagger framing Dunk is brought before the entire Targaryen family. And the first thing to notice is the dagger in Aerion's hand. Look at how it's positioned. Visually, it looks like the dagger is tearing Dunk apart. And that's exactly what Aerion wanted to do. But Dunk, a man with the strength of a giant, kicked him in the face, and Aerion never got the chance. Detail number 9. Trial by 7. Cruel genius. When Dunk demands trial by combat, Aerion responds, "No, trial by 7. And this is cruelty. At its highest level. Aerion argues that Dunk committed multiple crimes: kidnapping Egg, attacking Aerion, and defending the puppeteers, which Aerion calls propaganda and an insult to the royal family. So he forces Dunk into a trial of 7, an ancient Andal justice system. And the last time it happened, over 100 years ago. That's why Maekar and the others barely even understand what it is. Detail number 10. Maekar's disgust. Maekar is Aerion's father. He fought in the Blackfire Rebellion, and he won. So when he finds out his son is choosing trial by 7, only because Dunk is bigger than him, Maekar takes it as an insult. He sees Aerion as a coward. Detail number 11. The Fossoway apple symbolism. Dunk now has to build a team of knights, and the Fossoway brothers agree to help him, especially Stefan Fossoway. Now look closely. He's eating an apple, and his house sigil is also an apple. This matters. Stefan represents the green apple, unripe, treacherous, motivated by greed. And this ties perfectly into the episode's theme. In Westeros, respect isn't pure. It's a deal. Knighthood is just a title. It doesn't guarantee honor. It doesn't guarantee character. Detail number 12. Daeron's real problem. When Dunk confronts Daeron, Daeron admits why he drinks so much. It isn't just cowardice. It's because of his dragon dreams. These are visions of the future, passed through Targaryen blood. This is a huge deal in the lore. We already know Daenerys the Dreamer foresaw the doom of Valyria, and even in House of the Dragon, Targaryens have been shown to experience future visions. So Daeron isn't useless. He's haunted. His mind is already burdened by what's coming. Detail number 13. The dream and the symbolism. Daeron explains a terrifying dream. He saw fire and a dead dragon, so massive it covered all of Ashford Meadow, and it was lying on top of Dunk. But Dunk was alive, and the dragon was dead. Now here's the twist. Daeron takes the dream literally. He believes a real dragon will return, but the audience and lore experts know the truth. This is symbolic. The dragon here doesn't mean an actual dragon. It means a Targaryen, a member of the royal family, which suggests that in the coming days, a Targaryen prince may die, and Dunk may be connected to it. But Daeron also says something important. He doesn't know who killed the dragon, so it's possible Dunk won't kill him, but he will be there when it happens. Detail number 14. The birth of House Fossoway, red versus green. Now let's talk about the origin of House Fossoway splitting. In the lore, the Fossoways eventually divide into red apple, green apple, and it starts right here. Dunk needs knights, and then Lionel Baratheon knights Raymond Fossoway on the spot. That moment literally splits the house. From this point forward, the red and green Fossoways become separate factions and eventually fight each other. Detail number 15. Florian the Fool. Foreshadowing. There's a cut here that I really love. Dunk enters Tancel's tent to collect his shield, and he picks up the head of Florian the Fool. Now I don't know what's coming next, but this feels like foreshadowing. Then the editing becomes brilliant. Dunk remembers Tancel, and then the blacksmith arrives, and the sound of Tancel snapping her fingers matches perfectly with the sound of the blacksmith's hammer. It's subtle, but it's incredible. Detail number 16. the tournament grounds turn to mud. When Dunk walks toward the tourney grounds, we see that the rain has destroyed everything. The field has become a muddy slum, banners are soaked, tents have collapsed, and once again, this visual shift is symbolic. The glory is gone. Now only the dark reality remains. Detail number 17. Dunk's team breakdown. Let's quickly talk about Dunk's team. Sir Lionel Baratheon, a glory seeker. Sir Humphrey Harding, revenge-driven because his horse was killed. Sir Humphrey Beesbury, who joins because he's Harding's brother-in-law. Sir Robin Rysling, the mad knight of Westeros, but also a man of justice. Sir Raymond Fossoway, newly knighted. Unk himself, the sixth member. But one knight is missing, and that's the suspense. Who will be the seventh? Detail number 18. The Kingsguard bloodline. Lionel Baratheon says something brutal. He wants to see the white armor of the Kingsguard, soaked in blood. And yes, 3 Kingsguard knights will fight for Aegon, Sir Donal, Sir Ronald, Sir Willem. Detail number 19. Otho Bracken's appearance. Dunk gives a desperate speech, trying to recruit one more knight from the crowd, and then we see Daemon Lannister in the audience, the same one unhorsed earlier, and then a knight stands, Otho Bracken, also known as the Brute of Bracken. He's disgusting, but he has a story. He's dangerous. He killed Quentyn Blackwood in King's Landing during a tournament. And yes, this is the same Blackwood house we've seen referenced in House of the Dragon. Bracken versus Blackwood never ends. Detail number 20. Why Dunk hesitates to knight Raymond. One small moment carries huge meaning. When Raymond asks Dunk to knight him, Dunk hesitates. At first, it looks like Dunk doesn't want to put Raymond's life in danger, but I think the real reason is deeper. Dunk hesitates because he's an imposter. He was never officially knighted, so he doesn't want to pass a lie forward. And then Lionel Baratheon solves it. He knights Raymond himself. Detail number 21. Dunk's most desperate line. Dunk shouts to the crowd, with pure desperation in his voice, "Are there no true knights among you?" And then, the 7th knight arrives. When I first saw the armor, I thought for a second it was Valar Targaryen, but immediately I realized it had to be Baelor, because Valar hasn't been built up in the story, and Baelor's earlier conversation with Dunk already hinted at this moment. It was unexpected, but it was set up perfectly. Detail number 22. The missing heir. Here's the best part. Baelor wasn't sitting on his seat, but because Dunk's speech was so intense, and the missing 7th knight created panic, most viewers didn't even notice that the heir to the throne was absent. Detail number 23. Baelor's defining dialogue. Maekar says, "Have you lost your senses? This man attacked my son." And Baelor replies, "This man protected the innocent, as every true knight must. Let the gods decide if he was right or wrong." On the surface, it sounds simple, but it carries massive weight. Baelor is not defending Dunk legally. He is defending Dunk morally. He's invoking divine judgment, because human law has become corrupt, and that's where the episode ends. For the first time, the show uses the Game of Thrones theme music properly, recreated for this series. And honestly, I'm extremely excited for the next episode. Now you tell me in the comments, how did you feel about this ending? What details did you notice? If you enjoyed the video, please like and share and subscribe, because I'll be bringing breakdowns for every upcoming episode. Thank you for watching.